my mum and dad had shielded the whole time since March. And they had to pop out, I think it was once on the 4th of November, because my dad had a medical appointment. Sorry, my dad had an optician's appointment to go and pick up his glasses, and they must have caught it just on that one day that they popped out to do that. And obviously it was essential because my dad needed his glasses to see. And they, apart from that, they shielded the whole of the pandemic. Mum and dad come down with it was like tummy bug symptoms, and just generally felt like they had a bit of a lurgy. And we'd spoken to them and sort of said to them, "Oh God, you don't think it's COVID, do you?" And they were like, "No, we haven't got a cough or anything like that. We're just like not feeling very well. We must have picked up a bug because we're both poorly. We've been in bed." By the weekend, they actually had started to feel a little bit better when we rang and asked how they were doing. Obviously, we couldn't go there because we were in lockdown. I was rushing around doing breakfast, and my son said, "Oh, Mum, you've got a missed call on your phone," because my phone had been on silent from the night. And I had one from my sister and one from my mum. So I rang my sister back just for her to just scream down the phone at me that Dad had died. Mum had got up in the morning, and they'd been sleeping in separate rooms where they were poorly. Mum got up in the morning to go and check on my dad, and he'd just died in his sleep. And then we still had no idea at this point that it was COVID. But we knew obviously he'd been poorly. And then later on that day, Mum still wasn't very well. And we kept on saying to her, "I think you need to get checked out." And she was still convinced that she didn't think it was COVID because, again, they didn't have a cough or anything. And then the next morning, we convinced her to get checked over. So a paramedic came out to check Mum, and her oxygen level was so low, they said if she'd gone to bed, she'd have died as well because she was so poorly and she didn't realise that it was COVID. And we got confirmation, obviously, it was COVID for Mum once she got to hospital. She was taken to William Harvey, and Dad's come via post-mortem. And they had no idea it was that until it was too late. And we were so close to losing our mum as well. She spent 2 weeks on a COVID ward in William Harvey, where they looked after her amazingly. But just to think that she might not be here as well was just so scary. And the hardest thing as well was knowing that my dad had died that Tuesday morning, and we couldn't see our mum. We couldn't go to her. We couldn't comfort her. She spent 2 weeks all by herself, having lost my dad, before we could see her. It was just the most awful thing. And also, having had a baby, you've got all your hormones and everything. And it's not the easiest time at the best of times having a baby, especially after a C-section. And then to have all that on top, it was just the most awful thing. She's not well. She's got some horrendous after effects like chronic fatigue, breathlessness. She's really not well still, so she needs looking after. And because she's on her own now, because she hasn't got my dad, we are her only family, me and my sister. If you don't have to go out, stay home. Don't go out. And if you do have to go out, please stick to the rules. Please wear a mask and please wash your hands, because it literally takes one bad decision to change your life forever. And I'm not saying that my mum and dad did anything wrong, because they didn't. They washed their hands and they wore masks, and still they managed to catch it from going out just once. So it's so important that other people stick to the rules, because I wouldn't want anyone to have to go through what we're going through as a family.